what a week it was. There was a lot of pressure over the course of the week, wasn't there? And I do sincerely hope no pun was intended there. Really, there wasn't. But when it came to that submersive vessel, which carried about 5 people that had gone down beneath the ocean to go check out the wreckage of the Titanic, and when the thing went missing early in the week, wow, it was a few tense couple of days, wasn't it, as we waited for updates regarding what had happened to the occupants of that vessel, and if you know, whether or not they were going to make it out, because they had descended to such great depths. And to descend to such a depth, you would require a vessel that can withstand the intense pressure, water pressure at those great depths. And so you would have had to make sure that the vessel is properly built, and that there's no stress on the hull, and there's no wear and tear, so that it can withstand that pressure. And as it turned out, it looks like those precautions were not taken seriously, and so there was an implosion of the hull, leading to the deaths of all 5 occupants instantly. So if there's any consolation from this tragedy, to be taken from this tragedy, would be the fact that their death probably came swiftly, and they probably didn't experience significant amounts of panic and anxiety and fear in those final moments. It just sort of imploded like poof, and that was the end of that. And that was just so terrible, I would have to say. And for each occupant, they had to pay $250,000 for the privilege of being taken down to the remains or the wreckage of the Titanic. It's still not yet known if they actually got to the wreckage or even got to see it, because at least thus far, I'm not aware at what specific depth the implosion occurred. I would like to think, and really it would be tragic, wouldn't it, if the implosion occurred even before they got there. So what I'm saying is, if at least they got to the location of the ship, the sunken ship, the Titanic, and got to see it a little bit, and then the implosion happened somewhere thereafter, you know, I can at least be like, yeah, well, at least they died while having gotten the chance to see the Titanic, which is something that not many people will ever get to see, ever, right? But that just lets you know that for some people, these thrills matter. It is not it's a dangerous trip for sure. And from what I've been seeing, there were very many reasons for people to be concerned about the structural integrity of this vessel, or how capable it would have been to take people down there and safely bring them back up. Now, as I understand it, it had made the trip down to the Titanic's wreckage several times before, but an engineer had warned that the structure of the vessel was starting to show some weaknesses, which could potentially lead to a catastrophic accident. And it looks like this last trip is when that catastrophic accident actually happened. But the CEO was on record as having said, I don't like to have all these 50-year-old white guys working on this mission and on this vessel. I want it to be inspiring. I want young people. And since then, we've also seen videos of some of the younger employees talking about how thrilled and inspired and excited they are to be a part of this thing. And yeah, that's cute and sweet. But at the end of the day, in trying to be too progressive or too woke and too anti-old white males, it looks like it ended up costing this company its vessel and its occupants their lives. So this is very sad. Now, as an African, of course, we look at these kinds of adventures that a lot of wealthy people like to go for, and I'm like, is your life so dull? I mean, the occupants were mostly billionaires. Are their lives so dull that they can't think of better ways of spending their time and their money than to go on a risky trip like this? $250,000 per seat. And speaking of seat, did you look inside the vessel? There weren't even seats. It was just like an open, an open cylinder with a floor mat, and then you just sit on the floor for the entire duration of the trip, which I don't know for how many hours you would have to be in the vessel to get down to the Titanic and back. $250,000 a pop for a rather uncomfortable trip, which in this case ended tragically. So, I don't know, maybe as I wallow in my poverty, and you as well, aren't we both poor? Maybe we can appreciate some of the smaller things in life. that actually matter: family, relationships, friends, and the occasional hangout, and just interacting with people we love. We need not have to risk our lives in these rather dangerous adventures. For example, not even bungee jumping. Catch me going for the bungee jumping. It's not a thing I'd even ever contemplate, to go bungee jumping or whitewater rafting or anything like that is potentially risky and hazardous. It's just not for me. Call me a coward, that's fine. All I know is cowards live longer.